Hello class, how you doing? Jeff Weinberger coming at you here from a remote location way out here in the boondocks. No, we're not able to get together and have our class on Tuesdays for a little while, but it's going to be okay. We just have to ride this out and we'll be back in school in no time. But in the meantime, I know some of you have your ukuleles at home or are borrowing ukuleles from Sweetland, from the school, and if you're really itching to get going and keep learning, here we are. We can learn a little bit together. So I'm going to make this a kind of a short video, but I want to just get everybody up to speed on All Together Now by the Beatles. We had a lot of fun with that the other day, and I think we can go a little further with it. So let's get started. First of all, you have to know what chords are in All Together Now. We're going to talk about the lyrics. We're going to talk about each person might have their own part. Or we might break up into groups and do different parts. But let's get to know the chords really well. The main chord that you heard me playing at the beginning, G. I'm going to show you a big, huge picture of a G chord. I know you remember these chord posters, but let's make sure we all know how to read these. So we are looking at the ukulele. It's a picture of the ukulele. And it's a picture of the ukulele like this, with the neck pointing up. See the big thick line at the top there? That's the nut. That's this part of the ukulele. So that is not a fret. That's the nut. The first fret is right there. That first fret is here in your diagram. So we have the nut, we have fret 1, we have fret 2, we have fret 3, and we have fret 4. So remember, in a chord diagram, the frets are always the lines that go across. Those are the ones that tell you which fret to press down on. And of course, the strings are the lines that go up and down. Or for those of you that know these words, you have horizontal and you have vertical. Horizontal being this way, left to right, right to left, and vertical being up and down, like that. So this string I'm pointing to right now, that's your G string. This is the C string, this is the E string, and this is the A string. So it's just like your ukulele if we were to hold it up like that. The G string's way over here, and the A string's way over there. The G string's on your right, and the A string is on your left. So that is how to tell the strings from the frets on a chord diagram. You're probably wondering, what's that big huge zero doing way up there? Well, that zero is telling us that the G string that the zero is written over is included in the chord. We do play our G string, but it's open. You could think of that zero as an O for open. So you do strum that string, you just don't have your left hand finger touching it. You want to leave it open. And then you have 3 dots. Notice the dots have little numbers in the middle of them. Inside those dots are numbers. So 1 is telling us that particular place on the ukulele, which is your C string, 2nd fret. Let's see if you can find that. Let's see if you can play on your ukulele, find the C string's 2nd fret. You're supposed to play that with finger number 1, your index finger of your left hand. So your pointer finger. I'm going to do that just to demonstrate. Taking my pointer finger, my index finger, finger number 1, however you want to think about it, and I am pressing it down on the C string, 2nd fret. That's the first thing you have to do to play a G chord. Of course, we talked about our G string being open. You don't have to do anything to that. You just leave it be. Your left hand doesn't have to touch it. All right, and then the second thing we do, here's that diagram again. You see the number 3. You see the number 3 right here in the middle. Well, what string and what fret is that dot with the number 3 on? Well, it looks to me like it's on the E string, right? G, C, E, A, the E string. And it's on the 3rd fret. So we're going to add that. We had our pointer finger here on the C string 2nd fret. Now we take our 3rd finger, our ring finger, the one I have my wedding ring on, and that goes on the E string 3rd fret. So now we have 2 fingers on the ukulele. 2nd fret, 3rd fret. One last step and we're done. We have learned a G chord. I know some of you already know this, but I want to make sure that everybody catches up. So I'll teach you this G chord, whether you know it or not. We'll all learn it together. This might be a review for some of you. Finally, look at that number 2, the dot with the number 2 on it. That is on what string and what fret? Can you answer that? Which string and which fret is that dot with the number 2 on? I'll give you a minute to think about it. Okay, here's the answer. It is on the A string, 2nd fret, right here. A string, 2nd fret. That's your middle finger, your 2nd finger. So we had our 1st finger, we had our 3rd finger, and we had our 2nd finger. If you hold them all down at the same time, it looks like that, just like the diagram. Kind of like an upside down triangle, an upside down pyramid. If you were to connect those dots, it looks a little bit like a triangle. All right, so that is a G chord, and that's the main chord and all together now. So when you strum it, you want to make sure it has 4 clear notes. So you can strum them all together with your thumb, your right hand thumb, just go. And then if you want to check, if you're not sure you're doing it right, play them one at a time like this. G string open, nice and clear. C string 2nd fret, excuse me, but it's with your 1st finger, nice and clear. E string 3rd fret with your 3rd finger, nice and clear. And the A string 2nd fret with your 2nd finger. That's it. So I got all 4 of my notes clear, and when I play it, voila, it sounds like a great G chord. Nice and clear. If you have any trouble, if you're playing it and it's not so clear, you get that kind of sound like a woodpecker outside pecking on a tree. Wow, you know what causes that? You might not be pressing down hard enough. Your finger might not be pressing into the string hard enough to make a clear note. So if it sounds like that, and you start to press down harder, it gets clearer and clearer until, voila, it's nice and clear. It comes through. Occasionally, once in a while, what might happen is instead of not pressing down hard enough, you might be pressing down plenty hard, but your finger is accidentally touching a different string. It might be touching the string it's supposed to press down on, but it's also like blocking off a string like this. I'll try to do that on purpose. So if you can see, my 3rd finger not only is playing the note it's supposed to play, it's kind of accidentally touching the A string, and it's making the A string sound all buzzy like that. So the cure for that is make your fingers stand up nice and tall. Make sure they're nice and curvy like this, like you're holding an orange or a tennis ball. Nice and curvy like that, or like a claw, you know, cat's claw. Not flat. You don't want flat knuckles and flat fingers, but you want curved fingers. A cupped hand like that. And that'll keep your fingers out of the way so they do not interfere with any other strings. They only touch down on their own string. Also your thumb, if it's on the back of the neck like this, that's way better than having your thumb sticking way out like this. That's bad. That doesn't allow your fingers to stand up tall. But if you have your thumb on the back of the neck, not only does it help your fingers stand up tall, but it helps you squeeze the ukulele. You're squeezing between your thumb and your finger. So tight that you could even let go and the ukulele won't fall if you're squeezing correctly. And we should make sure we're in tune. I forgot to do that at the beginning, but here's my G. Make sure your G sounds like that. Here's a C. Here's an A. And here, that was an E, excuse me, and here's an A. So G, C, E, A. Remember our sayings like good cows eat apples and gloomy clouds eat Appleton and glowering cannibals eat asparagus and all those silly sayings that we have to remember. G, C, E, A. My dog has fleas. That silly song to help us remember. Okay, so all together now uses that G chord. Here's a D7 chord. This is one of the other chords in the song. Let's take a look. Big picture of a D7. Notice there's only 2 dots, so you only have to use 2 fingers. And then there's 2 O's at the top because we have 2 open strings. So let's get started on reading this diagram. There's the nut. There's the 1st fret. There's nothing on the 1st fret. We don't have to have a single finger on the 1st fret. Both of those fingers are on the 2nd fret though. So one of them is on the G string 2nd fret. C string is open. Then we have the E string 2nd fret. And the A string is open. What fingers are we using? Well, when I look at this, it says 2nd finger on your G string 2nd fret. and third finger on your E string 2nd fret. Let's try that. There it is, D7. Had to take a break there to tune, but now I'm back. All right, so 2nd finger up there, G string 2nd fret. 3rd finger down here on the E string 2nd fret. And that is how easy a D7 chord is. That's all it is. No problem. Now some of you, I know in class we talked about that you prefer to do it with your 1st and 2nd fingers. And that's perfectly okay, to use fingers 1 and 2 instead of fingers 2 and 3. Totally acceptable. Some people like to do it that way and it sounds good. And some people like to do it this way and it sounds good. I always do it with my 2nd and 3rd fingers. My diagram has the 2nd and 3rd fingers too. But a lot of really good ukulele players do it with their 1st and 2nd, so it's okay. Sometimes there's more than one way to do something and they're both correct. It's not like there's a right way and a wrong way. Those are both good. Okay, so let's get into a C chord. Here's a diagram of a C chord. I think you all know this already. I think each and every one of you has played a nice sounding C chord, and you can probably do it without hardly even thinking. But let's just go over it, just to review, just to make sure you know. There is the 1 finger we have to press down. It's our 3rd finger on the A string, 3rd fret. Notice the 0, 0, 0 or 0, 0, 0. That means all those other strings are open. So you only need 1 finger to play a C chord. It's so easy, so incredibly easy. And that's it. 0, 0, 0, and then we have this 1 note on the A string, 3rd fret. That's all 3 chords that you need for all together now. There are no other chords in the song. Okay, for part 2 of this video, I will come back and start to show you the song. We'll be singing it together, and we'll break up into groups so that some of you sing one part and some of you sing a different part. It's really fun to trade back and forth. But this first video was just to kind of introduce you to the 3 chords, get you to read chord diagrams, help you tune up a little bit, and then I will see you next time for our next session on All Together Now. Take it easy, everybody, and you be safe, be healthy, and have fun. Bye-bye.